Today's story isn't just about super strength or flying through the sky. It's about hope, kindness, and choosing to do the right thing. This is the origin of Superman, the world's first true superhero. It's a story that reminds us that true heroism begins with compassion, not power, and that strength without empathy is meaningless. And that even the greatest legends, remembered for generations, start with a single, quiet choice made in the face of fear. Section 1. The Fall of a Dying World. Long before Superman protected Earth, he was born on a distant planet called Krypton. Krypton was a world of advanced science and towering crystal cities. Its people were intelligent, powerful, and proud of their technology. But their planet had a secret. Deep within its core, Krypton was becoming unstable. A brilliant scientist named Jor-El discovered the truth. He warned the planet's leaders that Krypton would soon be destroyed, but they refused to listen. They believed their technology could save them. They were wrong. Knowing time was running out, Jor-El and his wife Lara made an impossible choice. They built a small spacecraft, not to save themselves, but to save their newborn son. They named him Kal-El. As the planet's surface began to tremble and the skies fractured with energy, the fate of an entire civilization was sealed forever. Hope no longer rested in Krypton's future or its technology, but in one child's survival and the life he had yet to live. Section 2. A Child Sent to the Stars. As Krypton began to crack apart, Jor-El placed baby Kal-El into the spacecraft. Before launching it into the stars, he programmed the ship with knowledge, values, and guidance, hoping it would help his son one day understand who he was. The spacecraft shot into space just moments before Krypton was destroyed. Kal-El's journey through the stars lasted many months. Eventually, the ship landed gently on a small farm in Smallville, Kansas. Across endless darkness and silent galaxies, the ship carried the final legacy of a world that no longer existed. Unseen by the universe, a fragile child drifted through space, unknowingly carrying the hopes of an extinct civilization. Section 3. The Kents and a New Life. The spacecraft was discovered by a kind, hard-working couple named Jonathan and Martha Kent. When they opened it, they found a baby, unharmed and glowing softly in the night. Realizing the child was special, they chose love over fear. They named him Clark Kent. As Clark grew, his parents noticed incredible abilities. He could lift heavy objects with ease. He could run faster than any human. His senses were sharper than normal, and he healed almost instantly. Instead of teaching him to stand above others, the Kents taught him something far more important: to be kind, to help others, and to hide his powers until he was ready. They understood that raising a hero meant shaping his heart long before his strength ever revealed itself. In their quiet farmhouse, far from power and glory, the foundation of Superman was built on love, patience, and moral guidance. Section 4. Discovering his powers. As Clark entered his teenage years, his abilities continued to grow. He learned he could leap great distances, move faster than sound, see through solid objects, hear cries for help from miles away. But with these powers came confusion. Clark often felt like he didn't belong. He struggled with questions no one else could answer. Why was he different? Where did he come from? What was he meant to do? Jonathan Kent reminded him that power alone doesn't define a person. Choices do. These words became a compass during Clark's most uncertain moments, guiding him when his powers felt overwhelming. They taught him that restraint, humility, and self-control could be just as heroic as saving the world. Section 5. The Truth of Krypton. One day, Clark discovered the remains of his spacecraft. Inside, he found recordings from Jor-El that revealed the truth. Clark learned he was not from Earth. He was the last survivor of Krypton. Under Earth's yellow sun, his Kryptonian body absorbed energy, granting him abilities far beyond human limits. Instead of feeling distant from humanity, Clark felt closer to them than ever. He understood he had been given a second chance, not to rule, but to protect. The loss of Krypton became not a weight to carry, but a lesson carved into his identity. Its destruction taught him that intelligence without compassion leads to ruin, and that empathy must always come first. Section 6. Becoming Superman. As an adult, Clark moved to Metropolis, a bustling city full of people in need. By day, he worked as a reporter, blending in among ordinary citizens. By night, he became something more. Wearing a suit inspired by his Kryptonian heritage, Clark embraced his role as a protector. He didn't seek fame or reward. He acted when others couldn't. The world began calling him Superman, not because he was better than humanity, but because he represented the best of it. He became a symbol people looked to when chaos threatened to consume everything familiar and safe. Not a god watching from above, but a guardian who stood among them, choosing service over superiority. Section 7. A symbol of hope. Superman didn't just stop disasters or catch falling buildings. He inspired people. He showed that strength should be used to lift others up, that kindness can be just as powerful as force, and that even someone from another world can choose to be human. He wasn't perfect, but he always tried to do what was right. In a world often divided by fear, mistrust, and uncertainty, he stood as proof that goodness could endure. Hope, once ignited by his actions, spread faster than destruction and reminded humanity of its own potential. Section 8. A hero by choice. Superman never claimed authority over the world he protected. He didn't seek praise, recognition, or control. In a world quick to crown kings and tear them down just as fast, he chose something far rarer: humility. He acted not because he was obligated, but because it was right. Every time he stepped into danger, it was a choice, a conscious decision to put others before himself. He could have lived in silence, hidden behind anonymity, untouched by the weight of responsibility. Instead, he stepped forward, knowing that every action would be watched, judged, and misunderstood. And he was misunderstood. Superman made mistakes. He misjudged situations. He arrived too late. He saved some, and couldn't save others. Each failure left a mark, not on his body, but on his conscience. Despite his strength, he carried doubt, questioning whether his presence truly helped or only made the world more dependent. Yet through every uncertainty, one belief never wavered. He believed in people. He believed that given the chance, humanity would choose compassion over cruelty. Despite possessing power beyond imagination, Superman understood that strength alone was dangerous. Unchecked power had destroyed Krypton. He would not allow it to destroy Earth. His greatest power was not flight, speed, or strength. It was restraint. He chose not to rule when he easily could have. He chose not to impose his will, even when it might have brought order faster. He chose to listen instead of command, to protect instead of dominate. And in doing so, he became something no force of nature ever could: trustworthy. Time and again, he proved that heroism isn't defined by invincibility, but by responsibility. And that choice, made again and again, is what truly made him Superman. And that is the origin of Superman, a hero born from tragedy, raised with love, and guided by hope. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Herofiles, because heroes aren't defined by where they come from, but by the choices they make.